Hey, what's going on, ladies and gents? How are you doing? Here back again with some more football content here on the channel. So right now I'm doing a preview for the Portugal and the Nigeria game. That's right, because Portugal will be facing Nigeria in an international friendly match. So that's going to be one of the international friendly pre-World Cup matches I'm looking forward to. In other words, meaning that this is one of, I guess, besides Poland and Chile, I think this is another international friendly match I'm really hyped about, because I am super curious to see how Portugal are going to do prior to the World Cup, especially with Fernando Santos' criticism of criticism of Fernando Santos' tactics and all that stuff. And I guess that one thing I want to get out there is that if Portugal want to have a chance at a World Cup trophy, then Fernando Santos, he's going to have to get his tactics right. No other way to say it, because obviously if Santos screws up on his tactics, then Portugal aren't going to have a chance to compete for a trophy at the World Cup, because this is the way how I see it, because obviously this is probably going to be Cristiano Ronaldo's last and ever opportunity at winning a World Cup. And, say that Cristiano Ronaldo does win the World Cup, I think it's going to end the Messi and Ronaldo debate for once. That's been so, I guess you could say, dragging on these last, 10 years now, whether Messi's the better football player or whether Cristiano Ronaldo is the better football player and all that stuff. And for Portugal, man, I think that the stakes are going to be really high for them at the World Cup this year. So, in this game, I think it's going to be one of those games where Fernando Santos is going to have to showcase that, that he has the right tactics and that he knows what he's doing, if he wants to help guide Portugal to another international trophy win, like how he did at Euro 2016 and all that stuff. But obviously, you look at the Nigeria national team, I am super bummed out that Nigeria didn't qualify for the World Cup, because, when it comes to World Cup, when it comes to like African World Cup nations, one nation that's always did, I think, the best out of any nation at World Cups besides Ghana, I'd have to say would be Nigeria, and when it comes to rooting for African nations, I always like rooting for Nigeria. For example, they are personally my favorite African nation to root for in football, especially at World Cups, just because, you look at the past talent Nigeria have produced with players like, I guess, JJ Okocha, if you guys remember him, he was, I think, I think he's like the greatest football player in Nigeria's footballing history and all that. And not seeing Nigeria qualify for the World Cup is pretty sad, because I always, watch Nigeria play at World Cups, from the time I started watching football fully, I guess, in 2010, especially 2014 World Cup, when Nigeria had that incredible performance against Argentina, despite them losing to them, Nigeria, they always put up incredible performances at World Cups, especially with them, being able to play together as a team and, challenge opposing nations. Like, that's what makes watching Nigerian football, I guess, very, very fun. And it is pretty depressing that Nigeria won't be playing at this year's World Cup, because Nigeria have always qualified for World Cups, and now that they are not going to be playing at the World Cup, I guess it's going to be one of those matches from whether or not Nigeria can maybe try and make an attempt at qualifying for the 2026 World Cup, because that's their best option, I guess, at this point. But right now, for Nigeria, I think they can put up a very solid performance over Portugal, just because I think this is going to be a very great even matchup between Portugal and Nigeria. But if I had to pick who's going to win, I'm going to say 2-1 for Portugal. That's the way how I see it. I think I don't know if Cristiano is going to be playing or not, but I still have a feeling for my prediction that I'm going to say I think Portugal can win this game 2-1. So yeah, another game I'm looking forward to in the international friendly, before the World Cup here kicks off and all that stuff. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Who do you think is going to win? And as always, like, comment, subscribe, and see ya.